Hey Worldwide Web, it's Darkly, and I'm here with the reaction for Ichigo vs. Yusuke. Now, just heads up, I may sound a little bit off because I'm on a tail end of a cold. Or maybe in the middle of one. All I know is I'm pretty sure I caught a cold, this past Friday. Anywho's, I'm excited about this matchup. This is my third most wanted death battle, of all time. I'm a big lover of Bleach, and it kind of shocked me how much I really like Bleach, thinking about it. Because, like, I love Naruto, I love One Piece, and I love Bleach, and I feel like out of all those three, I think I wanted Bleach the most. I wanted Bleach the most to appear in Death Battle in general, period. So, you know, I think I did a good job salvaging what remains of that intro. I think we're gonna keep that and see how I power through with this cold. Anyways, I'm hyped for this battle. For the preview, it's very reminiscent of season 4 stuff, kind of like how Luis had like that 2.5D style, whereas like, okay, there's pixels, but then there's also shots that are close to 3D, so I'm pretty hyped. And also, fun fact, if you consider Death Battle 24-25 as season 11 and consider Death Battle 26 season 12, it will have been 6 seasons since Yu Yu Hakusho debuted on Death Battle. Yu Yu Hakusho debuted season 6 with Sasuke versus Hiei. And now we are here with what I would bequeath as the 12th season with Yusuke. So, funny math coincidences. As for who I think is going to win, I probably will go with, I'm just going to double down on Ichigo, just because I love how much I love Bleach. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate Yu Yu Hakusho for what it is and for his, like, cultural impact too. Although I'm kind of more so familiar with up to the Dark Tournament arc and the bits of Sasuke versus Hiei. Although, given that Hiei versus Sasuke exists, and Hiei beat Sasuke, and Naruto beat Ichigo in Ichigo's Death Battle debut, should I be backtracking this one? Nah, it's too late for that. I already doubled down. Let's find out. Let's go. Alright, let's go.
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Yes.
Yusuke Urameshi.
The
Hey, Yusuke, you're a
Shinigami
meshi.
of Bleach versus the spirit detective of Yu Yu Hakusho. He's Wiz and I'm Booster.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is
And
also
it's
an
our job to
OG,
analyze
like,
their weapons,
wanted
armor,
matchup
and
too.
skills to find out who would win.
Like, people
a
probably
death
found more,
Tell me,
more connections
Boomstick,
between
what happens when we
Ichigo
die?
and Yusuke than the classic
nothing
anime rivalry,
Jeez, man, I
Naruto
don't
versus
know, we
Bleach.
just started.
Our
And
souls
this
are
is the
ferried
story.
by
This one's for the
Shinigami,
story people.
gods of
This one's for the
death,
story
in an
people, and they
eternal
finally got
cycle
it.
of death and rebirth.
That
Albeit,
was my
like,
second guess.
And when a soul goes astray,
a bunch
warped
of years
by
later,
evil and regret,
probably later
it's
than
a
they wanted to,
Shinigami's
but you know
job
what,
to
they're finally getting it
purify
out,
such
and
violent hollows
you know what,
and
I'm
send
with
them
them,
off to the
and
realm
I'm glad
of
that
the
this is
dead.
happening.
The Soul Society.
The Soul
Works
Society.
great till it doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was killed by a hollow. Reason number 1 why you should.
I'm gonna pause right here just because it also just hit me. Ichigo and Aizen are the only reps for Bleach in Death Battle, and I feel like that's a crime. Death Battle really should expand beyond Ichigo and Aizen, and they should not get the Jump Force treatment, even though Jump Force gave like DLC characters for Bleach later on, but still I still consider like Bleach is known for Ichigo and Aizen. That's really not the case. They have badass characters, and I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother would love to see Kenpachi Zaraki on the show at some point. So, this better not be the end for Bleach, and I'm sure, there'll be more ideas out there, wink wink nudge nudge. So, whoever's watching, let's come up with more Bleach ideas, come up with more Bleach matchups, so this isn't the end. And seriously, I do not need the next Bleach rep or the next Bleach episode to be Sephiroth versus Aizen, please. I don't need that. I don't need that yet.
Never want your kid to be the
All right, back to
anime
the show.
protagonist.
Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
You know,
But
like
this
going
wound
through
began
this,
to heal when he found his calling
DJ Tiki,
upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia.
you know,
To stop
staffer
the
of the
powerful
show,
Hollow, she gave
did
Ichigo
mention
her
how like
powers,
Bleach is a good
rousing
parallel or
unseen
like
potential
has a good
within.
themes of like
Boom,
mental
just
health,
like
and I'm
that,
like,
Ichigo's
in that
a
statement,
Shinigami.
okay, that does kind of like
Substitute
make that
Shinigami.
clear.
To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi. He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy called Ryoku and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure or Reiatsu.
Okay, that's a lot
Yep,
of big
this
words, but
editing
all it
style
really
for this is,
means
like,
is
pretty
he's
good.
a super-powered ghost.
I appreciate
with an
the
epic
editing style
sword.
for Ichigo's
His
pretty
spirit
good.
aura is
Very-
so
very
strong, he
1,000
can
Year Blood
stun
War.
lock foes, crushing them under his own power, even
Reiatsu
fatally.
crush.
He controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense and leaping off of
Today,
invisible footholds in the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
Say goodbye to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money.
Ah.
And hello to the town's new superhero with fellow Ghostbusters Orihime, Chad, and Uryu. Plus Rukia. It was the Shinigami's
Plus
job to
Rukia.
tear Hollows a new hole.
While balancing
Honestly, it's
responsibilities at
funny
school, of
that
course.
we have-
GPA comes
honestly,
first,
that shot
and
is
maybe
kind of
a
funny
round or two
considering
of
that
tech.
But it wouldn't be possible
most
without his
of like the
Shinigami
Bleach stories
blade, a
basically becomes
Zanpakuto.
like
It's basically a
Bleach.
superpowered
It's
spirit that's
Ichigo and the
physically
Solar
a sword.
Reapers.
Ghost
Plus his human
sword.
friends.
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is
Sounds
composed
funny,
of
like,
two
turn around.
distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just
Totally
call him
not
Old Man
confusing at all.
Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu.
Old Man Zangetsu
Anyway,
and
the double
Hollow
ghost sword gives
Zangetsu.
Ichigo lots of new moves, including his trademark
Which
attack.
the fandom always
sword
called
beams
Hollow
and
Ichigo.
all sword beams.
Go Hollow
Getsuga
Ichigo.
Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants. He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the even stronger Getsuga Jujisho.
To cut even
I
the
still can't get
biggest
used to
hollows down to
Getsuga
size,
Jujisho.
Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light
Frame
beams
number
from
one?
a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers. Guidebooks confirm they're real light, and the novels say so too.
Plus, early on, Uryu moved so fast that he left his own shadow behind.
crazy
But
that
as Ichigo became
actual
more
lore
involved with
books
the Soul
exist with
Society,
these kind
he
of, like,
quickly
talents and,
found that
you know,
he
feats
wasn't
and
good
whatever.
enough.
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now, Zangetsu had operated only in its base state, Shikai. So Ichigo learned to release its inner
Yeah,
power,
but that's
a
your
10
Blood
times
War,
boost
like,
that takes
color
most
palettes
Shinigami
and
a
edges
decade
are
to
really
master.
Bankai! In Bankai, his speed skyrocketed, letting him turn the tables on douchebag Byakuya. Even in Shikai, he blocked an attack that could destroy the whole frickin' Soul Society.
Because Ichigo's greatest gift is his potential to improve. Despite only being a teenager, he mastered swordsmanship well enough to thrash experts who had been training for centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons and styles mid-fight, surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He was
Catboy.
getting clamped, but as soon as he heard Orihime cheering him on, that was all he needed to smash that kitty.
You mean Grimjow, right?
Smash
Yeah,
that.
but even with that main
kitty,
character
okay.
energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen. With just a finger, Aizen stuffed Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song, Rude.
Ichigo needed to tap into his unexplained hollow power. Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old Man Zang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still, Ichigo
It still
needed
feels
his
weird
help and conjured a
actually
hollow mass
acknowledging
to
him
expand
as
his
Zangetsu.
power. But this meant the hollow within
just feels
only
wrong.
grew stronger.
Masked up, he can fire lasers, bypass super senses, and heal lost limbs. But piss him
Ah,
off
yes, good
enough,
old
and he'll
Hollow
go
Ichigo.
full hollow. And you really don't want that.
Hollowification exceeds even Bankai,
Honestly,
and was enough to
even
crush
after, like,
Ulquiorra
Thousand
in a
Year
battle
Blood
that
War
shook
and, like,
all of Hueco Mundo,
you know,
the
before the
world
rain
of
and
hollows.
everything.
Full hollow Ichigo could even
still
tear
raw to
through all 3
acknowledge.
layers of hell.
But
Hollow
with help from
Ichigo
his
is hollow-
secret
as a-
Shinigami
as
father,
Zangetsu.
Ichigo continued to train for months in the Dangai, a corridor between dimensions, until he was finally ready to challenge Aizen.
Challenge is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer aura, and flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini black hole.
And yet, it still wasn't enough. So by becoming Getsuga itself, Ichigo unleashed his ultimate attack, Mugetsu, defeating Aizen at the
Mugetsu.
cost of all his power.
He might have saved everyone, but now it was back to Normieville.
Ichigo never truly realized until
Honestly,
then just
it's
how
good
much
that
being a
Mugetsu was,
Shinigami
like,
meant to him. The power to protect
the
others,
one-time
his
thing,
drive,
but I feel
his
like,
pride in himself
know,
was gone. He would give anything
that Valiant
to get it
Aizen
back.
And
should have been the
he
ending of
did,
Bleach.
thanks to a surprise assist from Rukia. Boom!
And honestly,
Shinigami
Bleach
again.
would probably
Just in
be
time for a
an
1,000-year
absolute
blood
banger
war
if
with
the
a final
story arcs
endgame
were
boss,
kinda rearranged.
Yuhabak.
Who
Basically,
planned to
1,000-year
end
blood war
everything. And while other
was-
Shinigami
took
tried
place
their best,
before
only
Aizen, or at
Ichigo
least
was
there's at least
special
one
enough
more.
to pull it off.
His
One
father
more
was a
beat again,
Shinigami.
or a
His
Katsuga
mother
Aizen
was
or
a member
something,
of the
but, you know.
ancient Quincy's and possessed by a hollow.
Yep, here we go.
Hence, his two
Part of the
Zanbakuto
Raver,
spirits, one Quincy, the other Hollow and Shinigami, made Ichigo a perfect union to
Yep.
break Yuhabak's plan. Finally, Ichigo understood himself, fully unifying with both Zanpakuto spirits within. With that came a new Shikai and two new Zanpakuto.
True Shikai! If you
True
thought Ichigo was
Shikai.
strong before, oh boy, he's the
I'm
strongest
still looking forward
Shinigami
to
alive.
part
They're
4
dead.
of 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah.
Stronger than Kenpachi, who could split the Dangai in half.
Hey, shout out to the
Stronger
Goat
than
Genpachi,
Senjumaru,
the
who
one,
shook heaven and earth
character
across the realms,
from
and
Bleach that
strong
people
enough
on
to
Death
match
Battle.
Yuhabak, even
Or
after
the
he
one
absorbed the
character
Soul
that should be on Death
Fused
Battle.
up with Soul King power, Yuhabak could nuke all 3 realms. The human world, Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dangai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled in. Hell, just the Soul King's corpse sent a
God,
shockwave
that-
across
yeah,
all
just
the realms.
ignoring the
And it's not
Dangai
a
and
matter of
Garganta is
disrupting the
like,
flow of souls.
I think it's
Yuhabak was going
crazy
to
to-
end everything
it's
through
crazy to
sheer
forget that those
power
exist, and
alone.
there's also
But
hell.
Ichigo still wasn't done powering up.
Entering a new half-hollow form and merging his Getsuga Tensho with a mighty hollow attack, the Grand Ray Sero.
Making a giant crescent slash that rips through space itself.
All that power
Through
culminating
space
in his
itself.
true Bankai. A power so great, even Yuhabak was scared of it.
Joke's on you! Ichigo
True-
didn't even
true
need
power
it!
is
You're
crazy.
done!
Ichigo was finally content.
His true soul is
And
crazy.
10 years later, he remains a Shinigami, having found the courage to stand on the edge of life and death, conquer his fears, and walk onward.
That is until we get Hell Arc.
Most teenagers have
Oh,
no
here we
idea
go.
what they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem
Here we
for
go,
juvenile
Yusuke
delinquent
Urameshi.
Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever
It's
wanted
always
to do
crazy how
one
it's
thing.
his last name is
hands!
Urameshi.
It don't
when
matter
it's
who the
got a-
ups are, be they women, old folk, or
So it
babies.
should be like
Yusuke
Yusuke
lived to
Urameshi,
fight.
but it's
what
Yusuke
gave life meaning.
Urameshi.
Who cares
Hey,
about
Yusuke
stupid things like
Urameshi.
friends and family?
That's what I think when I
Which
think
is
of
why it was so
Yusuke's
surprising when
localized
one day
name
he
in the
threw
English
himself
dub.
in front of a speeding car
But
to
alas-
save a child, bringing that
Ah,
reckless
that's
life
the
to a
cultural
screeching
impact.
halt.
That is how he will be
Raccoon
remembered.
claims another victim.
But this is chapter 1 of a battle shonen, so death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
Yep.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the second you do something nice, hell itself gets caught with its
Hell
pants
is
down.
confused.
So the underworld
Hell is
surrogate
utterly
king, Koenma,
confused.
offered Yusuke an alternative. He could return to life as an agent of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation and told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was never really good for anything and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad, or his childhood sweetheart Keiko would be heartbroken, or even his rival Kuwabara would
Kuwabara
shed
is
manly
absolutely
tears.
gold
Oh
comedy.
man,
At the sight of loved ones who cared far more than he ever
Kuwabara
expected,
the goat.
Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
and newfound ass-kicking ability. In his quest to beat the dog shit out of demon kind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable, heals from wounds quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky.
I mean,
and with the
Yusuke's
help of
fought
legendary
Candace
warrior
Cabinet, Blast
Genkai,
Thunder,
he mastered a
Blast Thunder
signature
powers.
move that could blast anyone to smithereens.
My favorite shonen move ever, the Spirit Gun.
Yeah, Spirit Gun
At
is pretty
first,
cool.
Yusuke had a
Let's
limited
not talk
number
about
of
it now,
shots,
but
but
Spirit Gun is still
eventually
pretty
he
cool.
turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than
Or the
any
ray gun,
weapon on
the
Earth,
ray
he
gun.
could go finger blasting around as much as he wants.
The Spirit Gun is more versatile than it appears. Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a Spirit Shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a Spirit Punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clovers
see
the
how
hell
Yusuke
out of you.
would have
And the Spirit
might have
Wave, a
versatility.
Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
Yusuke may be a punk, but he's deceptively skilled and cunning in battle.
He's not afraid to fight dirty, throwing his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the dark.
Personally, I'd call that smart, and his hand-to-hand is A+. He's matched experts like Cabano, who's said to have mastered all forms of martial combat.
But his best secret is how quickly he improves. All it takes is a round of training or someone threatening his friends, and Yusuke's
I mean, I
power
can
will
see,
spike to match
things like
stronger
Shido's done
enemies,
too.
even if it means literally burning through his
Based on what they're
own life
kinda, like,
force for a
referring to,
power-up.
like-
All known demons and
Ichigo
demon
has
fighters are
fought,
individually
like,
ranked on a scale of
That's
power
what
from
punks
E
before.
to S.
He's ultra
E and
trading,
D-class demons
so.
are nothing special. We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S? Well, hold on to your ass. We're talking end of the world.
As Yusuke forged bonds with new allies, like demons Hiei and Kurama, as well as his old pal Kuwabara, he found himself facing
Kuwabara.
opponents he couldn't beat, such as the monstrous Toguro, who could vaporize weaker demons and crush their souls with sheer aura.
But Yusuke needed to survive and protect his loved ones, so he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai!
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion
Granted,
watts,
star
or joules
absorption?
per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So
Wow.
this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Toguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui, a past spirit detective
And then
gone
are they gonna
bad,
give the Yomi
and a
feat
great
from
measuring
Sasuke
stick
versus
for what
Hiei?
top-tier demons are capable of.
Sensui was so yoked, he
I'm sure that's
couldn't
gonna
even
come up
use
soon.
all his power in the human world without threatening to bring down the whole thing. He compared destroying the whole goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too, if he really wanted. And even A-class threats like King Enma have shaken both the demon and human worlds.
That anima guy is strong as balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who could eradicate the entire human world and remake the Netherworld.
But Yusuke's power surpassed both of them to the point where he overloaded Yakumo with his own energy. And do keep in
Oh,
mind,
that's cool.
Yusuke was still only
I
A-class
really
at the
should catch
time,
up while
a
you
far
watch the
cry
show.
from S-classes
When I
like
have the
Sensui,
chance.
whose sacred energy was 10 times his superior.
But not for long, sucker, because turns out Yusuke was a demon himself.
Literally. Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and
Oh, he's a-
incredibly powerful being, one of the strongest in existence, Ryzen, the Demon King.
With his Bazoku mark,
Oh,
Yusuke
what?
can channel
Oh, yeah, that's
Ryzen's
right. This-
spirit for a
this
huge
form
power
exists.
boost and a massive thirst for murder boost. This was his first taste of a dangerous new type of spirit energy.
This is like
Yoki.
Inuyasha's
A
like
form of
feral
energy
mode.
used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions. Unlike normal Reiki, its use creates a
gosh.
pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's rage and bloodlust, the
forgot this
feral
word
animal
exists.
within.
So Yusuke upgraded
crazy.
his spirit gun to a demon gun. It's the same thing, but red. Oh, and it's
But
strong enough to
red.
blast Sensui past the horizon, putting Yusuke's power firmly in
gun,
his class.
but
And
red.
making him a prime candidate to rule the demon world. But as he was thrust into a tournament
Super
vying
Saiyan
for
God.
that throne, Yusuke
Super
began to
Saiyan,
wonder if
blood
all
blue,
this
Super
power
Saiyan
was
Fun
what he really wanted.
Self-reflection? From I'll kick your ass, Yusuke Urameshi? Nah, we can worry about that later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is first?
Even then, as Yusuke took on the Demon King Yomi in an epic
There it
final
is.
battle,
There it
he
is.
was still growing. He had become far stronger
As
than
seen
before,
from
even
Sasuke versus
achieving a
Hiei.
unique version of the Mozoku
No, no.
form separate
No.
from Ryzen's influence.
And a brand spanking new form of power. Kinda like Sensui's secret energy, but even better. It's so unprecedented, it doesn't even have a name, but it's golden glowy.
Strong enough to clash with Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above
That is
and
cool.
decimated the Okunin tree below, pushing the Demon King himself to his absolute limits.
But then, Yusuke lost. It's not all bad, though. Even if being king would have been cool, Yusuke realized he wanted something more. He'd grown up and chose to walk a new path.
It was always Yusuke's connections with others that motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
But I wouldn't piss him off if you can avoid it. Get him in the right mood or threaten the human world, and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all
let's go,
possibilities.
let's go. Come on,
Time
give
for
Bleach a
a
W.
battle!
Yusuke, although Yusuke's star thing, I don't, maybe cool, interesting, but I don't see how it compares to Ewok's, for level. Here they go, they meet.
That's a demon.
That's a hollow.
No doubt about it.
Oh yeah, they got out of park back, let's go. Shout to go. Whoa, okay. Okay, this turn is...
Getsuga Tensho!
Alright. This is like slot. This is gonna be like. What was it? Oh. Dang, slugfest. Wow. Damn. Oh wait. A hollow?
Hollow.
Oh, the actual hollow now.
Chump change.
Reckless idiot!
What a
But yeah,
big
this is giving like
little demon energy got you
Zero
scared.
versus no Sonic. Yeah, that was like
Nah.
much better. Okay, yep.
Getsuga!
Two at once? Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Give in to me, Yusuke. Let's devour him together.
Hell no! This is my fight, jackass! You just told me back!
Yeesh, rude awakening. This one's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner? Let's do it, like old times.
Ooh. Dang. That's hot.
Is that the best you can do? I can go even faster if you'd like.
Hell yeah! Bring it on, asshole! I'll kill you even if it kills me! I'm putting it all on the line! You better do the same! Screw that!
Ooh, here we go. Very zero. Come on, Ichigo. Alright. This is where Yusuke goes feral.
Give me a freaking break.
See you on the other side.
Oh, what?
You,
Oh, wait, that was
think
it?
the afterlife offers frequent flyer miles?
There's a lot to cover here, so let's break this down into 4 chapters, starting with their abilities.
Yusuke could see Ichigo no problem, and resist auras like Taguro's that are similar to Reiatsu, so Ichigo couldn't cheese a win right away.
Otherwise, Yusuke was outmatched. Sure, the Spirit Gun could potentially match the Getsuga Tensho, and he had stat-boosting forms like the Mizoku. Ichigo, however, had more varied powers, a better healing factor, greater stamina given his months of Dongai training.
And all those swords! He just had way more abilities to play with.
Likewise, speed was a fairly easy call. Yusuke could react to lightning early on, and obviously got much faster over time. Looking at this blast from his clash with Yomi, it erupted upwards at 57% the speed of light.
But Ichigo was faster than light from the start, and he's
Yeah.
gotten faster too. He couldn't even see Byakuya at first, but blitzed him in the rematch. Plus, he's got tons of
He got
training and
faster and
power-ups since
faster.
then.
The Soul King Shockwave, for example, expanded across the realms at thousands of times light speed, and Ichigo reacted to attacks from Soul King Yhwach that utilized the same power. So, Ichigo takes speed. But Yusuke's fought plenty of foes faster and more varied than him, so it's extremely important to examine their tactics and ability to adapt mid-fight.
This is kind of both their things. Ichigo has styled on guys with centuries of training and has over a decade of experience as a Shinigami. He's pretty good at figuring out new weapons and styles.
Meanwhile, Yusuke was flexible and quick to adapt, mixing cleverness with exceptional hand-to-hand. He's good enough to match Kabano, who mastered every martial art. Ichigo's decent at
saw
hand-to-hand,
Shot from
but
Knife
it's
Edge
not his
Deathmatch.
go-to in the
That's
same way.
like one of my
So
core
both
memories
had
of
their
Yu Yu
strong
Hakusho.
suits, with advantages on each side. It's fair to call this one a draw.
Leaving only the biggest winning factor, which could have superseded all other advantages: power.
Between Sensui, Genkai, and Enma, Yusuke could definitely destroy the planet. Examining his sky-splitting clash with Yomi and measuring its scale, that's about 4 quadrillion megatons of TNT, which is crazy.
Similarly, mid-series Ichigo could shake Huecomundo, tear through hell, and block attacks that could destroy the Soul Society. But at his peak, he beat Yhwach, who could destroy several realms, which is far more impressive than just one.
To be fair, Yusuke also beat Yakumo, who could threaten 2 realms at the same time, pretty close to Yhwach's threatening 3.
And Yusuke far surpassed Yakumo afterward. The gap between him and Sensui alone was 10 times. So there could be an argument for Yusuke's power surpassing Ichigo if 3 realms was truly Ichigo's limit.
Fortunately for Ichigo, it's not. Yhwach was also gonna destroy the Garganta, which has at least 29 pocket dimensions inside it.
Each
Oh,
containing
gosh.
at least a planet and
Dark
star,
Side is so
much larger than
crazy.
Yusuke's planet-sized
Oh, wow.
worlds. Plus,
The light
Ichigo
novel
matched
was really
Yhwach
good,
in
too.
True Shikai, without his additional boost from Half Hollow and True Bankai.
As always with Death Battle, there's arguments either way. But the way we see it, even being generous with Yusuke's power and conservative with Ichigo's, the gap was just too big, giving Ichigo the final edge. Sorry if things got messy, but that's just how Ichi goes.
The
Wow,
winner
no, think
is
about-
Ichigo
I think about
Kurosaki.
Ichigo being number 1.
Next
Alright.
time on
Alright, let's
Death
see it.
Battle.
Okay, so immediately. Oh, that's Metal Sonic. Is it Cell? Yep, Silver is Metal Sonic.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Death
Wait,
Battle is back, and so is our new tabletop gaming channel, Nightly Brew. We've got everything on there for
sorry, Chad. I'm gonna cut you off there and go back to this. Okay. So I'm surprised that the next episode isn't going to be one of the remaining Death Battle Kickstarter episodes, which is just Gru versus Megamind and was it Aang versus Traveler? Unless that's after this. But I'm surprised that they're not just jumping right into that. But I guess that we need some we need some episodes to keep us going. Or, episodes to keep the audience hooked. Because after those 2 episodes, it's all them. It's all them. So and I'm pretty sure this episode is Devil Artemis's last one with Death Battle, because he did release a video saying that they did animate one last Death Battle, and I'm pretty sure this one is it. I mean, if your biggest thing has been animating Cell in, a fun parody sort of entertainment time vein, then, go out doing what you love. Make your last hurrah, like, something you've got a forte in, and you know what? It's got to be Cell. So I figured this is gonna be Silver Metal Sonic, and I'm pretty sure that is going to be really good. I liked Frieza versus Megatron, and I feel like, Devil Artemis has given us some like good episodes over the years. So I'm looking forward to this one. Anyways, Ichigo versus Yusuke. I feel like this was appropriate for a season premiere. I miss sprite fights. I mean, I appreciated Death Battle 2024, 2025 for everything it gave us because it basically felt like there were basically no sprite there were basically no sprite fights, little to no sprite fights. And you know, it's all good. It's all good and all, but you know, I kind of. Oh wait, I think what I was trying to say is it's like okay, Death Battle 2025 didn't really have a lot of sprite fights. It also didn't have a lot of Marvel versus DC comic book fights. And I'm just like, I think a lot of the community is like, I think I'm starting to miss Marvel versus DC. I was missing sprite fights. And I'm glad that Ichigo versus Yusuke was able to bring that back. I kind of thought I thought this was gonna be based on the preview. I thought this was gonna be edited by Luis, like one last sprite fight from him. But it was animated by who like I think it was Origin the Hero and Zach. So, you know, they did a good job. It felt very reminiscent, and it was I'm pretty sure it was Luis that animated Naruto versus Ichigo back in the day, and also edited using like the 2.5 dimension kind of like animation style that what was it Mel Sonic versus Zero had. Also very funny that you know, two season 4 returners are coming back, you know, back to back at the start of this season, which I think is also pretty uncanny. As for the fight uh itself, I think there were some pretty sick moments. It was pretty cool. And there was like nice banter and everything. I just feel like the ending uh was kind of misleading, but then again, maybe it's just because I haven't finished Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't finished watching Yu Yu Hakusho, but it definitely felt like it definitely gave a Omni-Man versus Bardock ending to be. Where it's like, wait, is that it? Is there gonna be more, or is that really it? Uh, but you know, maybe that's just me. But hey, Bleach finally wins. Bleach finally got a W. Please don't let this be the end of Bleach being on the show. I also need more. I need more Bleach characters. Like, do not give me Aizen after this. If Bleach returns, do not make it Aizen. Give us a new character, please. But anyways, Silver's Sonic. Uh, gonna be hyped for this one. So, anyways, I'll end it all there. So, catch you next time. Smiley face. Peace.